The Costa del Sol shimmered, a playground for the rich and infamous, among them Gary Hutch and Daniel Kinahan, thick as thieves. More than friends, they were brothers in arms, loyal soldiers in Christy Kinahan's drug empire. Gary, nephew of the infamous Jerry the Monk Hutch, was ambitious and eager. Daniel, the heir apparent, saw a trusted lieutenant in Gary. Their bond, forged in the crucible of the criminal underworld, seemed unbreakable. Money flowed, loyalty was absolute, and danger was a shared thrill. But the underworld is a fickle mistress. Trust, a currency more valuable than gold, could be shattered in an instant. And beneath the surface of their brotherhood, a darkness stirred. The seeds of doubt were sown, a whisper of betrayal. The drug trade is a high-stakes game, millions made and lost on a whim. A €10 million cocaine shipment destined for Dublin's streets vanished. Fingers were pointed, suspicions arose. Had someone tipped off the authorities? The whispers grew louder. Gary, some alleged, had sung like a canary, an informant, a rat. The accusations cut deep, severing the bond between him and Daniel. The trust they once shared evaporated like mist under a scorching sun. Daniel, once a friend, now saw Gary as a liability, a threat to the empire his father had built. The balance of power shifted. Their brotherhood, once a source of strength, was now a dangerous weakness. Estepona, a sun-drenched haven, became a battleground. Gary, fearing for his life, took drastic measures. He sought to eliminate the threat, to reclaim his standing. He would strike first. The bullet ripped through the air, aimed at Daniel's heart. It found a different target. Jamie Moore, a boxer caught in the crossfire, collapsed, his career shattered. The attempt failed. Gary had made a dangerous enemy. The underworld held its breath. Blood had been spilled. Retribution was inevitable. The fragile peace had been shattered. The streets of Dublin braced themselves for the storm to come. The streets of Dublin thrummed with tension. The Kinahans, a force to be reckoned with, demanded blood. Jerry the Monk Hutch, Gary's uncle, a formidable figure in his own right, intervened. A peace accord was struck, a temporary reprieve from the looming violence. The price of peace? €200,000, a king's ransom to quell the Kinahans' thirst for vengeance. The agreement was a thin bandage on a gaping wound. Gary, living on borrowed time, sought refuge in his Spanish sanctuary, but the past, like a shadow, followed him relentlessly. The truce was a temporary illusion. Fate, it seemed, had other plans. Section 5. Death in Paradise. The Spanish sun beat down on the cobblestone streets. Gary, haunted by the past, moved like a ghost through the crowds. But even in paradise there was no escaping the reach of the underworld. Gunfire erupted, shattering the afternoon calm. Gary Hutch, gunned down in cold blood, lay dead in a pool of his own blood. The truce was broken. The fragile peace shattered. A cycle of violence, once unleashed, could not be contained. The news rippled through Dublin's underworld. Revenge, swift and brutal, was the only acceptable response. The countdown had begun. The feud, fueled by blood and betrayal, was about to explode. Section 6. Retaliation at the Regency. The Regency Hotel, a symbol of Dublin's glamour, became a battleground. The Kinahans, their power unquestioned, were hosting a boxing weigh-in, a show of force. An invitation for their enemies to witness their dominance. The gunmen, disguised as police officers, stormed the hotel. Chaos erupted. Gunfire filled the air, sending shockwaves through the city. David Byrne, a Kinahan lieutenant, lay dead. The message was clear. No one was untouchable. The attack sent shockwaves through Ireland and beyond. The audacity, the brutality. This was a declaration of war. The lines were drawn. There would be no turning back. Section 7. An innocent's blood. The streets ran red with blood. Retaliation begat retaliation. The body count rose. The feud, a raging inferno, consumed everything in its path. Innocent lives were caught in the crossfire. Eddie Hutch Sr., a taxi driver, a father, a brother, had no part in the underworld's deadly games. But his name was a target. Gunned down in his own home, a victim of mistaken identity, or perhaps a chilling message. His murder, a sickening escalation, shocked even the most hardened observers. The feud had spiraled out of control, leaving a trail of devastation in its wake. Justice, it seemed, was a luxury reserved for the innocent. Section 8, Scars on the City. The Hutch-Kinahan feud left an indelible mark on Dublin. A city once known for its charm and vibrancy now bore the scars of gangland violence. The streets, once filled with music and laughter, echoed with the silence of fear. 18 lives were lost, sons, fathers, brothers, friends, their stories, their potential extinguished in a hail of bullets. The feud, a cancer, had eaten away at the city's soul. International attention focused on Dublin's underworld, a stark reminder of the dark underbelly of globalization. The legacy of the feud lived on, a cautionary tale whispered on street corners, a reminder that loyalty and betrayal were two sides of the same coin, and that the price of power was often paid in blood. Section 9, Ghosts of a Feud. The key players in this bloody drama scattered, seeking refuge in the shadows. Christy Kinahan, the patriarch, remained elusive, his empire seemingly untouched. Daniel, facing international arrest warrants, lived a life of luxury in Dubai, the long arm of the law seemingly unable to reach him. Jerry, the monk Hutch, acquitted of murder charges, returned to his self-imposed exile in Lanzarote, forever haunted by the ghosts of the feud. The streets of Dublin may have fallen silent, but the embers of the feud still glowed, a constant threat waiting to be rekindled. The feud, although dormant, cast a long shadow over the city, a stark reminder of the human cost of greed, betrayal, and the insatiable thirst for power. The question remained: would the cycle of violence ever truly end? Or were these families forever bound by a blood oath, destined to dance this deadly dance for generations to come?